because you jumped right into it.
Oh, yeah.
Patricio's now hydrated. I have Patricio here, so you kind of can't see that.
Oh, they don't need to see me. Hey, guys, how you doing?
He's on. You'll be able to see him if you watch the YouTube video later, or you watch it live from Facebook from our page.
Let's do the countdown. We're just going to play the audio.
What should I do?
What should I do?
What should I do?
What should I do?
What are my rights? What are my rights?
What are my rights?
A legal course of action.
A legal course of action.
A legal course of action. A legal Morse of action.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, attorneys of all ages, welcome to a brand new episode of Legal Morse of Action. My name is Patricio, and as always, we are joined by attorney Erin Morse. How you doing today, Erin?
I'm thirsty.
Me too.
I have a quirk, and you guys, if you've watched our videos before, you've seen that I have this quirk with drinks. I always, at all times, need at least 1 to 4 drinks.
It's funny you mentioned that. Right before I got here, I was in the bullpen with all the staff, and Mary was moving some stuff, and she realized, holy crap, I think she had like 6 different drinks just at her desk. I don't get that. I don't get that mentality. I can't. I have my water and my tea, and that's it.
Yeah, I usually want a coffee, a soda water, a water, and a tea.
A nice cold water.
Nana Beth's house.
I'm sorry, that just threw me off. God?
Is that you, God?
But no, we're redoing.
My son is with Nana Beth, so he may show up any moment. I told her.
Crashing in right through the door and jumping. I could see him just running straight up and just sitting at the desk, table right there, and getting on the mic, which I would be so happy about. But no, we're redoing this because yesterday was a bit of a hectic day.
Yeah, it was. It was chaotic.
It was stressful, and I double booked. And it bled into with a side of chaos, which should not have happened, but that is entirely entirely my fault.
It's usually me. My schedule runs chaotically, so if we're ever late for a scheduled day, a scheduled time, it's me. I got stuck in court or a hearing, or usually it's that my hearing ended and I have to decompress after it, take my notes, enter my tasks, make sure that I continue to strategize in moving the case forward.
Jennifer Benjamin says, oh my God, all the times, multiple drinks.
Yeah. I've been like this since I was really young. So she's known me since law school. So she was like, oh my God, I would carry them. I actually used to have this weird big lunch bag so that I could carry my multiple drinks. No. Why do you need so many drinks? I'm thirsty. I have consistent worry that I'll have like a hydration emergency.
So you have multiple drinks. Now, Would it be water bottles or coffees?
So I like my reusable water bottles. Okay. That's a big deal to me. I don't like the way...
turtles.
Well, I don't like the way bottled water tastes, and it's not environmentally friendly.
Oh, I love me some Zephyr Hills.
No, I like
If you say Dasani or Aquafina,
I don't like bottled water. Those are from a bottle.
Okay.
I like filtered tap water.
Okay.
You know where has the best water?
Who?
Starbucks.
No, I'm not gonna.
Have you ever had Starbucks water?
You and Jennifer are on the same wavelength. All she said right there, Starbucks water all the way.
She said it before I did.
She said it before you did.
It's true. it's true.
I do like that they give you so much ice.
Sonny, I'm an Aries.
That doesn't. I'm not even going to jump into that. We are releasing an office video later on today with the staff, and it does revolve around everyone's zodiac.
Yeah, I'm an April baby.
Okay, what sign would that be?
An Aries.
Aries. Okay. I have no idea what an Aries is, what it represents, your characteristics, all
Well,
that.
we're first.
Okay, Aries is the first. Okay.
Okay. So naturally, it's a fire sign, and they're a ram is
Okay.
what they represent, and they're generally have like an aggressive disposition. So the positive things are that they're aggressive and motivated
Mhm.
and honest and open and upfront. Some of the negative things that I like to think that I've tried to work on is that they'll be really excited about a new project, so you can be impulsive, is that they don't finish that project.
Okay.
Their follow through is where they have difficulty. And their impulsivity makes like longer term commitment difficult to them. But I feel differently. Like I'm good about committing to things I like.
I had a date a couple weeks ago where she went into the whole zodiac, like everything about my zodiac.
A fighter. Yes, we are fighters. Aries is the god of war. That's what it is in like Greek
Oh,
mythology.
okay. I'm thinking about.
Why
I thought Mars was Mars is the Roman god of war. So Aries is the Greek god of war.
That's why I'm a lawyer and a leader, and it's why I had to have my own firm, because they're like these natural born, pretty aggressive leaders. No.
But no, like the inspiration for the video today was I'd gone on a date and she had asked me, "Oh, what time were you born? Where were you born?"
Okay, I don't know any about those things.
Yeah, and
I know like the broad.
I actually know that the time and place where I was born. So I told her that.
I know the time and place where I was born.
And she put it into this one test on her phone.
Are you guys compatible?
It said that we weren't.
So I looked up somewhere as a joke, and this was when I was first talking to my husband about who Aries are compatible with.
Okay.
And it was like a super brief Google search. I don't know what I put in to put this. I don't know if it's true. But Patricio, no one cares. I'm going to answer your question, I promise. We're just doing a little opening. So
Who said that?
don't worry about it. So what ended up happening was I Googled it, and the way it came up, it looked like nobody was compatible with an Aries. And so he kind of asked it jokingly, right? Like we had gone down, like this was him being facetious. And I was like, I'm not compatible with anybody, so buckle up in dating me. I was like, I'm not compatible with anybody, so this is okay. Oh, just give it time.
But no, she went into the whole thing and it said that we weren't compatible. And because of that computer program or whatever it was,
left. She's like, I'm out. I gotta go.
We basically came to the agreement. They're like, oh yeah, no, we're not going to compatible. This isn't going to work because a computer told her because of where I was born and
the planet said so.
Yeah, because Mercury was not in the right orbit around the sun. We weren't compatible.
Retrograde. Everyone knows that.
Oh my God, what does that even mean?
I don't know. I don't understand it completely.
But you got a question, didn't you?
I did.
What's
stand by? Let me go. Okay, here we go. So, Sunny Money 22.
Hi, Sunny Money.
If cops get called on a domestic issue and DCF is involved, will they try to separate the kids from both parents? If mom keeps kids safe, but in-laws try to discredit mom, can that be an issue? Yes. Now, DCF issues with them taking the children away are really, really complex. And it's worth mentioning that sometimes what ends up happening is DCF doesn't know how to sort it out with which parent, but when that happens, they're just like, all right, both of you are in trouble. Let's let the court system and this, whatever's going on, let's let that be sorted out in court. And you can decide, usually the path on that is you could decide to enter into a case plan for reunification, because that's typically what they want. Or they say, you know what, on second thought, we really think the only parent who's a problem is dad. But sometimes in a circumstance like that, right, I'd need a lot more facts. This is where I would have, a more thorough, in-depth conversation with you. Sometimes what some of the issue is that the other parent failed to keep the children safe. So there is some inherent unfairness with this, in my opinion, that a woman or man could be the victim of domestic violence. And as a victim of domestic violence, the children witness the domestic violence and then they want to blame the victim, right? So there's a little bit of inequity or unfairness when it comes to this in particular.
And a lot of the times, the victim has already been psychologically warped by her assailant.
Well, it isn't easy to get out of, circumstances where there's domestic violence. That it's not built on a straight line. You know, it is an exercise in psychology, and there's a lot that goes into it. And there's, domestic violence also isn't exclusive to physical violence, right? There's a lot of, mental abuse and sociological abuse and financial abuse, right? So we've been learning more and more, and the courts have been trying to give a bit more credence to the idea of there being financial abuse. There are some countries that deal with it. For example, the Philippines. In the Philippines, you can file for financial abuse if someone is,
Are they feeling like basically failing to provide for the family?
Maybe failing to provide, or if a person makes money and the other party is abusive to them and spends their money on that, their financial crimes is how they really phrase it.
Oh, wow.
We don't really address it that way in the United States, but I had a client who they had their divorce in both the Philippines and the United States, and she said that we're prosecuting him over there for financial crimes because we can.
Do you feel that that approach that's being taken in the Philippines should be applied here in the United States, or would that be a waste of time?
I don't know. I think the slippery slope of it would make it really hard. I think it would be a lot of like mudslinging, but I do think that we could do a little bit of a better job at waste type circumstances, or, lack of knowledge when it comes to finances and making people responsible for them.
Well, isn't any and all court proceedings, like once it's opposing counsel versus opposing counsel, isn't that already a mudslinging event?
Yes, but we can keep a lot of the irrelevant stuff out, or it's not up for consideration by the court.
That makes sense.
So you can say it, right? You can I always say this, you can put a hand turkey, and as long as you put the case number and the case style on it, you can file it. That doesn't mean you should, but you can. You can e-file a hand turkey.
We've seen a couple of filings that
are not hand turkeys.
I mean, they're not hand turkeys, but I feel like their kid, did it with their crayon and everything, and it's just like,
yeah.
Why did you file this?
This person paid you a lot of money. So, and then she goes, and why is a restraining order 4,000 pages long? Because you're really taking away someone's rights to be somewhere, right? So it's a lot of constitutional rights that get removed from someone. The court wants to make sure they get it right, so it's not appealed. That's really why. And they like paperwork. They like paper and stuff.
No, I've dealing with criminal cases beforehand. Yeah, injunctions, the language in there has to be precise because, like you said, you're taking away someone's constitutional rights to live, to go out and be social.
Or you take away their constitutional rights because when there's a restraining order, if the restraining order is only against the respondent, right? Not the petitioner. So when there's a restraining order, the person who filed the restraining order, they can actually they can go anywhere they want and do anything they want. They can contact him. They can do it, whatever they want. Now that has consequences in court. They could move to dissolve it because the petitioner is continuing to contact the person against whom they're saying they're afraid of. But the restraining order, again, is restraining. No, the fact that he has no bond doesn't help. It sounds like they're trying to take the children away from him.
Oh, you got some questions coming in from the...
yeah, it's the same Sunny Money. She said DCF is normally a 23-year-old with no kids. There is no normal in DCF. There's no such thing. When it comes to DCF, it's always chaotic, and these facts are always so unique to the parties.
Do you think
honestly.
that it's chaotic with DCF because of the fact that they don't have the proper funding to have adequate staff and services?
Yeah, they don't have the proper funding. They don't, and it's really unfortunate because their job is so important. I
wanted to say something, but I'll moving on.
That's why I put my pro bono hours there. I try to advocate for the kids who are caught up in the DCF system.
And that's actually what we were talking about last night, because you had mentioned
I'm obviously obsessive about it.
the guardian litem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those watching, and just to clarify, like, what is a guardian ad litem?
You represent the interests of the children.
So it's basically an attorney for the child.
Yeah.
Okay.
That means I get to bully the parents who are abusive.
Did we? Was that Scooby?
That is Scooby Doo.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the attorney for the children.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can the child ask for a guardian item, or how does
the children don't get a lot of say? They're pretty voiceless when it comes to these circumstances, and that's tragic as fuck to me.
It kind of doesn't make sense.
We just lost our boost.
What?
We just lost our boost.
We lost our boost?
Because I cussed.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Thanks, Zuck. But no, with so many laws, basically, the divorce proceedings and everything in court, wanting for the best interests, keeping the child's best interest at mind, really, they don't even pay attention to the child in a sense.
Well, I do.
Yes, you do.
That's why I enter the case. So I'm like, these kids are being harmed. Okay. I yell at everybody. I'm obnoxious because I'm a private attorney. I'm not the DCF guardian ad litem, which they do have a guardian ad litem program they always interview the kids. I go visit them at their house. I go visit them at their school. I surprise them at home. I bring them toys. Those are
Thank you. Sorry.
Those are my kids. I take care of them. I figure out what they like, and I'm like, oh, you like dinosaurs? You like trucks? I come over with them. I bring them coloring books. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yes, Sunny Money, an attorney will be better. You have, yes. Yes, at least speak to one. At least have a consultation. It's worth your while, for sure.
The one thing when working in criminal, people always ask me, why do I need to get myself a private attorney when the state, gives me an attorney for free?
Would you like the DMV to represent you in court?
I totally would not want the DMV to represent me in court.
That's why you get a private attorney.
And the one comparison that I give to everyone who always asks that question, and the same kind of applies to family law, a private attorney can deal with about, 7 to 10 cases a week that they have to go to hearings to. Yeah, 7 to 10 cases.
I was like,
a week. And
it's way lowballing it for what I do in a week.
That they have to attend to.
Yeah.
But anyone involved with a government agency, whether it's the vote defender's office or an attorney appointed by the court, they have 7 to 10 cases like every hour.
Yeah, they have this big stack of files, and they're like, they can't remember their clients' names, and it's not their fault. It really isn't. Mm-hmm. It's under budgeted and overburdened.
And what do you think would be a solution to that situation with these agencies?
Money. if they had money, if they could, if they had enough money, and honestly, if you want to think about it from another perspective, and this isn't anything, there are some people who get into public service, but, I think that I would never work for the state, either the prosecutor's office or public defender. And even though I know I'd get a lot of really good experience, it would be really interesting. I would be really passionate about it.
I think a majority of our...
my student loans are too expensive. They really are. And they're at like 8% interest. Like my payments, which are really fucking high. Really high. I don't make a dent in them because of the interest amortizes. So it just gets added on to the total.
407-900-74.
So I was like, you know what? I like being in charge and being the boss of things. And I think myself a really good attorney. I work really hard at it, and I'm really passionate about it. So I went into private practice. I opened up my own shop.
And I know that there are a lot of attorneys before they go into private practice do work. I said do 3 times. Work for the state attorney's office or some government agency to at least get a better understanding.
It's exceptional experience.
Yeah.
So there are some really great attorneys who Scooby is like sadly pacing out there. Oh. So there are some really great attorneys who do it. I have no hate on them. They're underfunded and over overburdened. I know for me, if I had their caseload
Mhm.
and they don't get to pick their clients, right? If my client's non-cooperative, like
Well, I mean, even
you can't
if
fire a
it's a
client.
prospect, you're still dealing with them in the consultation phase,
Mhm.
and I'm sure you've dealt with a prospect or two that they, one, don't know what the heck they're talking about, or two, they really don't have a case.
I have, and there have been people who might have a case,
Mhm.
but it's not strong. And I'm like, you shouldn't file this case this way, because my fear is that um, even if I take this to court, I feel like the risk is really high because, it's the scales of justice type of thing, where sometimes it's really good, and sometimes you're really likely to win. And then sometimes I'm like, but what is your ultimate relief? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Yes, they did something wrong. Yes, you have a case. Yes, I can move forward with it. But what do you get in the end? The judge to go, you did the wrong thing. Golly,
and a big invoice at the end of
go free and do better. So the only person who wins in that are the attorneys, and that's not fair.
that. No, it's not.
I don't need to do that to people. So Sunny, it depends. In Orange County, to become a guardian, it's called a guardian ad litem, litem. So you become a guardian ad litem. You have to take some training. You typically have to have a certain level of education that they want you to have. In Orange County, they require that you be an attorney. In some other counties, you can just be a person in the community with the right amount of training.
Knowledge and experience, huh?
Yeah.
So, what was it that got you to become a guardian ad litem?
I like kids. I do. I come from a big old Irish Catholic family with lots of kids in it, and I don't know. I just like them. I started law school with a 5-month-old. So the forefront of children and children's justices in the law and their safety has been something I've always had the opportunity to think about, or it's always been something thoughtful in my legal career, because I had this baby, right?
Yeah.
Like I had my breast pump on one shoulder and my bag of books on the other. I had a lot of back pain in law school. And it just, I don't know, it mattered to me, right? I feel like I'm doing something good
Mhm.
in a part of the system that's really, really broken.
Gotcha. Because I mean, you constantly help out families, through your private practice.
No, Sonny, it's after 5 on a Friday.
She asked for a call.
She said, "Can I call you today? My family's pacing outside and waiting for me to. I like them." So
407-900-7451, Sunny.
there is a link actually on our Facebook page and on our website that you can set up a consultation at a time that's convenient for you without even having to make a phone call.
Yes,
So,
and if you go on the Facebook page, you can see my pretty face as well.
oh, also, if you call our number, our answering service will schedule you a consultation.
Exactly.
I'm going to pivot into that. I am a little bit protective of my time with my family because I can't be a good mom and wife and overall human if I don't make sure that I give them my time and attention. I feel unhappy with
Well, no, that's a fair and valid
my life.
statement. I mean, if you're cooking steaks all day as a profession, you don't want to be cooking steaks when you get home. You don't want to be dealing with that.
Right. If I cook all day and then go home and starve, like that doesn't make sense.
It makes zero sense.
Right. So if I advocate for people and their family and healthy, family relationships and things like that all day, wouldn't it be silly of me to be like, my son's name is Connor. Connor, go away, right? I have to do that all day. So, especially like today, I had to work from home. So all day I was like, play on your device. At some point I want to have dinner and I want to see my family and they want to see me. My husband's already done a couple laps like, hey, I miss you. So,
No, and like we talked about it on a previous episode, the balance, of running the firm, of dealing with the cases, and then coming home and I don't want to say dealing with the family, but just being with your family in general.
Well, that's what I like. When people are like, oh, what do you do for fun? I'm like, I like my family, right? I enjoy spending time with them. I want to enjoy spending time with them. I practice divorce and custody law, right? Like I know how these families fall apart, and I don't want that. So that's something I will get protective of.
And it's nothing against any prospect or client. It's like, I think they would want the same thing if,
well, they do. I'm sure that they make time for their family. And sometimes I think they forget that I do this all day, all the time.
Yeah.
That when it takes from my family on nights and weekends, and I'm not saying that I won't do it. Typically, the work that takes from my family on nights and weekends is if I'm preparing for a trial or I'm preparing for a hearing. So I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It does.
Oh, no. And you've called us. You called us on a weekend or sent us a text message or an email. Hey, come Monday, I just thought about this. We should reach out to the client and this and that. Like you're constantly in work mode 24/7, even though you may not be.
I might not accept appointments, but I do still have after hours and outside of work hours work. So that's why like appointments and speaking to people are something I'm like, that has to happen. Like I got to put a lid on it somehow.
Yeah. And I mean, you have to mentally prepare yourself before going into consult mode, client mode, court mode, things like that.
Right.
There are different attitudes that you apply to different situations.
Yeah. Well, my husband came home today and I worked from home, and I had a pretty adverse thing we had going on today, a deposition for a pretty intense case. And he came home and I'm being snarky because, I'm in work mode. I didn't have my, 30-minute drive home to decompress and listen to music and not be arguing with people. And he's like, why are you being so snarky? And I'm like, I'm still working. Rah! So
he said
mean. He did say mean. He did say mean. I didn't think I was being mean. I was like, this isn't mean.
Got your back, Sam.
Like, this isn't mean. You want to see mean?
I don't want to see mean, Erin. Please, no.
You've seen it.
I've seen it.
It ain't pretty.
The last time me and Erin came out and screamed, I stayed an extra 45 minutes just to make sure she was happy before I left the office. And it wasn't even my fault.
It wasn't. It's usually not like the fault
of the person being scolded, but it's.
Or sometimes I'm just kind of having like a, can you believe this? Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, I'm like, how freaking stupid can they be? So it happens.
Yeah, it happens. That's why, we have insulated walls at the office. So when we have a full house.
I don't even care. I don't care who's around. Anybody who I...
Well, no, it does. You have to let it out. There will be situations where you do get frustrated.
Well, if you want a passionate attorney in the courtroom being an advocate, I'm going to be passionate on other things. Or I'm going to be, if you want the kind of person who's honest and upfront and brave and that, goddess of war, right? You think all of a sudden when something else is bothering me, this happens a lot. Not a lot. It doesn't, because I shouldn't say that. It has come up on occasion where it's been something about my son and I've like snapped at it like really quick.
You talked about that last night. You talked in regards to the interview for him to get into the school.
Oh yeah, I got really aggressive with them. One example was I had a family member, and this was a while ago. I don't remember what it was, but they said something, and I feel particular about this, and I know it's so silly. I know it is, but it matters to me.
Let's hear it.
They said, Connor, something like you're stupid.
Oh.
Or like you are, but it was you are stupid, or you're being dumb, or you're dumb.
They were talking down. They were talking bad about him.
Not even in a bad way. They kind of didn't mean it. He did something that was silly, but he's a kid. Like it was not a big deal.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't. But I was like, he's not dumb. I was like, he's not stupid. I was like, maybe what he did was stupid. I'm like, but that is not who he is. I'm like, and do not speak about him like that ever. I said it in front of him. Like, I could not help myself. You can't do that to a kid, right? The adults that surround him and that love him and the way that they speak to children become how they internalize the world. So I'm like, you can say that what he did was stupid, but he is not stupid. He is a very smart boy. He typically is very responsible. Like, I have a lot of positive things to say about him. But the point of the matter is that he is not stupid, and you should never communicate to a child that way.
And unfortunately, like I've seen situations where a parent, instead of correcting the situation, they'll
you can say that wasn't very smart. That was a stupid decision, and because you're smart, we could correct this, right?
Exactly. But if you're just saying like, "Oh, you're dumb,"
you're stupid.
That you just
I don't know. It really and it was a family member who I love and is great to my son and great to me. I love them, and I don't know. It went up my side. I was like, "Do not say that." I was like, "You don't talk." Well, I almost felt like I needed Connor to also hear very loudly that isn't accurate, right? It's not. I felt like I couldn't. I felt like I couldn't turn the corner and just let it slide. And maybe it would have been fine. Maybe he would have forgotten about it because I do not communicate to him like that. But it bothered me. I'm like, you have to know that you're not you have to know not only that you're not stupid, but that your mother will always advocate for you. I advocate all day long for strangers' kids. You think when it comes to my kid, I'm not going to be an absolute beast? I am.
You're going to kill it.
I am. So I normally don't have to. It's not. He's a good kid.
But no, it's
Scooby
a good
is
thing,
looking at us.
It's a good thing that's in Connor's life, because there are a lot of times, children who are growing up don't have that sort of positivity or assurance that what they're smart. They don't have those words of encouragement,
right?
And I think it does some psychological damage if you don't have an emotional support, at such a young age.
And we all parent differently, and it doesn't mean that a child will necessarily interpret it that way. And maybe I made a mountain out of a molehill. It just mattered to me. This is my style of parenting. And listen, there are a variety of styles of parenting.
Oh, yeah.
And even if one parent speaks like that, but the other doesn't, the child receives about 80% of the benefit of the positivity.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a struggle. And I'm fortunate that my family is really supportive of my parenting style, probably because I'd be like a beast to deal with. And it's not, I'm like one of those people that's like, yo, it's not just, she's not worth it. She's not worth it. So I think that it's one of those things, again, my family is really supportive of my parenting style. And I don't have a super extreme parenting style. I expect Connor to be responsible. I expect him to do, what he needs to do to be a responsible third grader. And it's important for me to speak positively of him because I want him to build
I honestly
positive relationships.
He's like the most adult third grader I've ever met.
I will talk to him and seriously and honestly.
Yeah.
So, he's got a lot of that.
No,
And how do you explain what I do?
To a child?
Yeah. I have to be honest with him. Sometimes.
Also, I'm sure. How do you explain that to an 8-year-old?
Did I ever tell you the story about what happened when one of the teachers tried to explain what I do, and he corrected her? He's here. He's going to be here.
Go on.
So, hey, his teacher, who was really great, said something about they were talking about professions and what people do as adults, and a lawyer came up somehow.
Okay.
And the judge goes, that's what Connor's the teacher. Sorry.
You see,
the teacher goes, a lawyer. This is what Connor's mom goes to court, right? So that was the point that they made, that the lawyer goes to court. And he goes, no. He goes, my mom works really hard and helps families when there are children. So she helps families figure out what to do when the mommies and daddies separate.
Oh, wow.
He was like, no, she doesn't go to court or just go to court. She helps families.
My mama told me to tell you.
I was like, super important to him. He's got a pretty strong sense of this, right and wrong and trying to be a good person. That really matters. And that's pretty typical of that age group.
Yeah.
And for him, that felt so important. That no, she helps families, right? So sometimes she has, like she helps families.
Mhm.
Yes, like goes to court, but because she helps families. So
I know in your commercial, the one that's on rotation right now, you say that you've helped over 200 families, and
yeah, I think we're at like 600 now.
So we got to fix that. We got to fix that or dub it or
Let's very awkwardly dub over it. Helped 600. Like put the Siri voice and not mine.
I know a guy who does a pretty good Morgan Freeman impression. We could probably get him to.
Are you talking about yourself?
No,
Oh,
I don't.
the way you said it was like, I know a guy who works in a law firm, does marketing.
No, I'm horrible at impressions. I can't even do accents. I always mess those up. The only reason why I can do a Mexican accent is because I am Mexican.
Not really.
Yeah, I'm only half.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
That's why it's a half-ass impression.
It's enough. It's enough.
So no, with everything that you dealt with yesterday, today, working from home and dealing with the depot, what were some red flags that you saw during today's week? Did you get a question or?
No, I think we should talk about a case further away because you might be able to figure out who it is.
Okay.
Right? I don't
All
want them. It's too close in time that I think
Gotcha.
my confidentiality is going to be
Fair
in
and
trouble.
valid.
So I'm a troll, and this stuff matters to me about confidentiality. So I'm going to decline to answer.
Fair. So so is there a different case that you want to?
Actually, I will say with the case that I had today, I'm really proud of how my client did.
That's awesome.
I really am. I'm very happy with it.
Well, I'm sure you had proper prep time with him.
Of course I did.
And you instructed him.
You know who it is. I talk with him plenty. No, he has a lot. He has a complex case.
Yeah.
So I do need to speak with him. He's a good client. He listens.
And unfortunately, there are people out there who don't. They pay tons of money for a great attorney, and they ignore the instructions and advice from counsel.
He listens. He follows the law. He's helpful. He's a great client, and he did a good job today. So. Oh, there's Scooby-Doo.
Scooby, I love this dog. However, according to our Instagram, little Nate dog is the more popular one. However, Tank.
Dog?
Huh?
Oh, I was like, the rapper? I was like, yeah, he's popular. He's amazing.
But yeah, we posted photos of.
I don't think you're in.
I was gonna say something. It's not fair because.
You want to join me in my many?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. It's the only time I interrupt because I've been told I talk too much.
You do talk to
Patricio.
Do you want to sit here so you can be seen?
So everyone can see my Beavis and Butthead shirt.
I mean, you just got out of work. It is what it is.
I just want to. No, this isn't gonna work. All right, I just
Move
wanted
the
to.
chair.
It's not gonna work.
You would have to scoot over just a
I'm
tad.
gonna scoot
No,
over.
it's cool. Everybody saw me. Hi. I just want to say that Scooby didn't have a fair picture because his face was covered. Like you didn't get to appreciate the Eeyore eyes.
Oh my God.
He is a cute dog. He is a cute dog.
But did you see the other photos?
Yeah, I did.
You saw
I
the other
did.
dogs.
At first, I almost texted Erin and I was like, "Did you adopt another dog?"
Well, shit could happen. I do whatever I want. He really thought that was like our dog, and I was coming home, and I'm like, yeah.
I was like, "All right."
He's so patient with me. Thank God.
But yeah, no, it was funny because Nathan, Lindsay's dog, received the most likes, but Mary's dog, I think Tank, only got likes, and get this, from other dogs, from other dog profiles. No human had liked that dog except dog.
I run a law
profiles.
firm, and
Which
this
talks about dogs.
This conversation is happening.
Well, okay, you do run a law firm. I got a question for you that we haven't been able to get to. We do have a couple of questions that we received from online text message and through the Facebook.
Yeah, so since they came in a confidential way, we're not going to say their names.
Of course
because
not.
it was asked of us.
Of course.
When they're posted on here, I imagine you don't want confidentiality because everyone can see your comment. But when you text it to us through our main phone number, we will keep it confidential.
Exactly. So we have one question coming in saying, what kind of time sharing can I get when I have not had any contact with my son for 2.5 years?
Well, the way that I would handle that, and again, there are many strategies to this, but I think the ideal strategy is you file and we try to move towards what's called a step-up plan to get you as close to the desired schedule that you want. So time sharing is typically a product of practicality. And if we need to go this route, we can request that there be reunification therapy so that we could get you as close to, again, your desired schedule that you want. You might be a brain surgeon who works 5-6 days a week and you have long days, and every other weekend might be what's ideal for you and your family. No, I'm not here to judge you. We're going to do what works for your family. You might be somebody who works part-time because you make enough money, or you retired from the military and you have military pay and you only need to work part-time. So we can try to seek something closer to 50-50. So again, we're going to depend on what your circumstances are, but I would start it with reunification therapy if you think that's appropriate, or if the person with whom you had the child really wants to fight it, we ask the court for reunification therapy and a step-up plan. So you start off slow with time sharing and this isn't about you. This is about the child and making sure the child is comfortable. Generally what I would suggest is you start off on maybe an every Saturday, every Sunday type thing where you spend 4 hours with the child. I would say that you should do that for 6 weeks, And then from there, you start with seeing if you can do an overnight. Maybe you do 1 overnight every other weekend, and then you increase from there to 2 overnights every other weekend. Do that for 3 weeks. And then we would increase to 3 overnights every week.
So gradually just start adding more and more time to it.
Yeah, and I can construct some pretty creative plans that are going to make sure that this works for every party, or what we can. My first attempt is going to be to try to come to an agreement, because all cases, again, have to go to mediation. So we're going to try that out.
Gotcha.
If we can't come to an agreement, I've never had a judge say, a step-up plan, you're crazy. They're normally like, yeah, that's really reasonable, and thanks for suggesting it. I'm going to grant it. Sometimes they actually grant it at a quicker pace than I originally requested.
I've seen that happen.
That's happened a couple times. I'm like, well, that's better than what I wanted. So, okay.
Attorney Morse, you don't even have to finish. You were right the second you opened your mouth.
Yeah, I'm granting your motion. I'm like, okay.
And for those listening and watching, I'm not bullshitting you. I've seriously been in the room where she starts her opening statement, and literally within 5 or 6 sentences, the judge is like, "No, Attorney Morse, no, you're fine. Motion granted. Do you have a proposed order?"
I'm like, yeah, I'll have it to you today. So.
But thank you so much for that question. The next one coming in is, am I liable for any expenses related to the marital residence, or does the verbiage in the marital settlement agreement relieve me of responsibility?
So whatever expenses are in the marital settlement agreement are those things that you're responsible for, and that's it. If it was left out of the marital settlement agreement, it's out.
So if you were paying for the cable this entire time, and then in the marital settlement agreement has nothing to say about the cable.
Bye. Yeah, no more. No mas. No more. You don't have to pay that. So.
And how often do marital settlement agreements kind of that happen, in a sense?
Nearly never, that you have to continue paying cable or the electricity of the home that you're not living in. Never.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Usually it's in the form of alimony if those things need to continue to be paid for.
We actually had a question that came in through our Facebook earlier, yesterday and today, in regards to child support. Now I know you're getting in defensive mode, and I feel like I'm like raising the fire in you, but you talked to me for about 20 minutes about it.
I'm such a nerd. He asked me how I could do child support cases when child support is unconstitutional.
Now, okay. To some people.
No, I don't want to. No, it's so stupid.
Is child support unconstitutional?
No.
Why isn't it?
Because children have a right to be supported. And you have a right to support your children. That's the constitutional part.
I know that answer. I hear about it all the time.
I make that argument all the time because sometimes judges, rightfully so, will raise the issue of due process and certain things being requested. And I'm like, it is the constitutional right of the children. I'm like, so when my pleadings say the court should order child support, it covers all forms and at all times in which the children are entitled to be supported. And I've never had a judge go, no, sir. They're like, yeah, you're right. I'm granting that. I'm like, thanks.
God, every time the freaking law hawk has been embedded in my mind. Every time I hear due process, I'm literally
Due process, do wheelies.
Thank you, law hawk, and thank you for the question. The next one coming in is mediation required when you file a petition to modify child support? Is child support retroactive on a modification?
If you ask for it to be retroactive, typically it's only retroactive to the date of filing of that modification.
Now let's clarify for the listeners what retroactive actually means.
Backwards, right? So if child support is to be increased, it to go like you to get back child support.
Oh, okay.
So that's the retroactive part. There's a difference between retroactive and arrears, but it's not important enough for you to understand in this circumstance. Just let your attorney argue it, but it's the child support that should have been paid even like while it wasn't. Now at the initial pleading, Connor's home, so Scooby's whining at the door, wants him to come in, and my mom is here.
Oh, hey, Beth.
So what ends up happening is, this is what happens when you film from home. What ends up happening is that at the initial pleading or the initial outset, you can go back 2 years before the date of filing. Scooby.
We're learning about retroactive pay, Scooby. Please.
That's at the first filing, but if you are modifying, hi, buddy. You want to say hi? All right, Scooby. All right, that's enough. Like, you're gonna smack me in the face. I like when you wave, but not. Oh, all right. Beat it.
You should have let me make the phone holder.
You want to make two?
No, but I'm just making a joke.
Oh, okay. So, retroactive to 2 years before the filing of the original case, right? So,
Okay.
in a divorce case or an original paternity action, you can go retroactive 2 years before filing. So, not to the beginning of time, not to the date they were born, no. But if you're modifying, it's the date of filing. So if it takes you 2 years to get in front of the judge will make a decision based on the date of filing forward.
Filing the initial case or filing for the modification?
The modification.
Okay.
Initial case, you can go 2 years, but you have to plead for that. Got to ask for it.
Okay.
And then it's paid back at 20%.
Thank you so much for the question. One more coming in right here. I have 50-50 custody with my son's father.
You don't have custody if you're in Florida. Rah! You have shared parental responsibility.
I just enlisted into the Army and go for basic training in 4 weeks. Father does not want to cooperate in the time sharing. What can I do?
What do you mean he's not cooperating?
I guess, well because...
What's he going to do? Bring the kid to basic training? Take him! Like, live, like, no.
So, like, what could the mother do at this point if she's going into basic training and it conflicts with the 50-50 schedule?
When you're in the military, your family can take your time sharing while you're in the military.
What do you mean?
Your family can step in and have the time sharing that you're otherwise ordered.
So it doesn't actually have to be the father. It could be like a family member.
Yeah, like grandma can have the time sharing while you're in the military. That's only a military provision. So I would have a family member if they're willing to take the time sharing.
Oh, okay. So that's actually a pretty good solution right there. Mm-hmm. Have her just reach out to close family member, whether it's a sister, a mother, grandmother, things like that, to be able to watch the child during the what do you call it? During her time in basic training.
Yeah.
Would she have to sign anything or like file anything for the
You don't have to, no. And the statute provides that this could happen. Oh. He'll probably file something, but that's the defense, is that the statute literally says she can do this. She'll do it. Thanks.
Wow, I would love to learn more about that statue because of the fact that,
You can't be punished for your military service. That's an issue I'm about to appeal.
we usually do Erin Reacts, and I would have a computer in front of her. But the one video, I did find a video that I wanted you to react to, and it's a commercial that's kind of making the rounds right now. And it's the Match.com commercial where it's this woman.
Send it to his phone so
and
he'll
the
pull it
devil.
up. Oh, I saw it.
Yeah.
2020. You can call me 2020. Yeah.
You've never seen the...
You haven't seen it? It's funny.
It's hilarious. And
It's funny.
I love that they got like a really, really big... I don't know if it's CGI or if that dude is actually that big.
It's CGI.
I mean, they could have gotten a small woman for the role of 2020, but like it's a really big...
I know, it's like this cute petite chick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even though 2020 happened just, basically just yesterday, it's still, sneaking.
Lasted 2 years.
A year so bad that it felt like a year
It took 2 years to pass.
I've been trying to push the hashtag or the quote. Oh my God, that's such a 2020 attitude. When people like say something stupid or just say something.
Stop trying to
neurotic.
make fetch happen.
I'm trying.
It's
Come
not
on.
gonna happen.
I want to go viral. But no, so right now you've been live on your personal Instagram and the office Instagram.
That's this one.
Tell me about the comments that you've seen on there, because I guess
They're just all like, I love you so much. No, they're not. It's not. You're so amazing. No one said that at all. People saying hello.
Any shout outs, anyone we want to say hi to or recognize?
I don't know if she's still on, but my friend Jen Osgood, I love and miss her.
Oh,
She is wonderful. A bunch of good people. My cousin, I don't know if I want to call him out. Is he reaching out to his cousin who's the divorce lawyer? No, we got a lot of cool people on here.
awesome.
I want to thank them. Thank y'all for being here. I don't want to call you out in case you're trying to watch this low key,
Yeah.
right?
But if you do want to reach out, 407-900-7451 to schedule your appointment with attorney Erin Morse and the associates at the law office of Erin Morse, or go to our website, www.morse-firm.com.
You can make an appointment right on the website, and you can keep your, desire to not make a phone call intact.
Yeah.
And you can schedule it right online.
You'll receive a discreet email confirming your appointment with attorney Erin Morse.
We're going to make you fill out a form. So we need to collect some information, but that's confidential.
Exactly.
And you don't have to talk to my receptionist or the answering service.
Mm-hmm. No, and also if you Google Erin Morse, you're able to schedule a link right there off of Google.
Right now, you are holding the technology to make this happen for you.
You know what? Why don't you ask Alexa to call the law office of Erin Morse?
They can call the law office of Erin Morse for you. Huh?
I
I don't know if there's like another way you would want to contact me, but if there is, let me know so I can make sure I'm on it.
Exactly. Once we finish this today's broadcast, we're going to be going. How does it show?
We got. I have like 4 TikToks I have to do. My eyebrows.
Ray, freaking Ray, I love you, Ray. Ray says, "How does it show up on my credit card statement?" You say something.
I'm gonna have Lindsay. I'm gonna have Lindsay talk to you about that. But it does say my name. It says OnlyFans.
Oh my God.
It doesn't.
Oh man! But once again, I will say sorry to all the listeners and the viewers yesterday. And
Don't be sorry.
today
Just say
for-
thanks for your understanding.
Yeah, thank you for.
We're gonna
your
say less
understanding.
sorry, right?
Mhm.
Thanks for your understanding. Life is complicated.
I feel like that one's like just saying like, "Shut up and just let me do what I got to do."
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
We're busy.
Sam,
What
do you have any final thoughts as we close out today's show?
No, I'm out of it. I'm tired from work.
He's tired. He had a hard week. He's a diesel mechanic, so he picks up diesel trucks. He just lifts them
And I start at
them,
4 a.m.
and
too.
then he puts them back down.
I could hear the tiredness in your voice right there.
He is. He wants dinner, and he's looking at me like I'm hungry.
No, I'm okay. I'm just chilling.
It's me who gets hangry.
just
Maybe
not-
I'm thinking that.
My body is
I'm
like,
hungry.
oh, we're sitting down, we're relaxing, no problem.
Just go right to sleep. Just slip into that.
You sent me a Snapchat, or I think you put it on your story the other day, where it had to be like around 1-2 o'clock in the morning, and you
I'm
wanted
always working.
and you wanted chocolate milk.
No, it was 4:30 in the morning, people, and it was on the weekend. Guess where I went?
You went to 7-Eleven.
And
Yeah.
I bought her chocolate milk, strawberry milk, and cookies and cream milk.
You bought all the milks, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was really happy.
just like she wanted some. What was it? Ice cream?
Neapolitan?
No.
tiramisu.
Yeah, and they don't make that. I came home with $30
It's not a
worth
thing. I
of-
just made something
Right.
up.
I came home
apparently.
with $30 worth of pint ice cream.
You actually have to go to like a high quality store to get a tiramisu, don't you? Because they don't have that at Walmart or.
Yeah.
They
I
might
went.
have
I
a
went to
Target.
Publix and they didn't have it. That's how I know it doesn't exist.
I don't think it exists. I think I just made things up. I don't think tiramisu ice cream
No.
exists. There's probably like some specialty place that has it.
Yeah.
So.
Let us know where you can find a tiramisu ice cream so you can make Erin happy. But Erin, any final thoughts as we end tonight's broadcast?
No, and if you want to rewatch or rehear this, we are on YouTube,
Hmm.
and you could rewatch it on Instagram. You could rewatch it on Facebook,
Hmm.
or you could listen to me on all the podcast places.
iHeart, Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, Google, SoundHound. I'm waiting on Pandora, and we did apply with Amazon. So, yeah, fingers crossed on the Pandora one.
And if you are in the proximity of Orlando, you could probably hear me yelling at someone on the phone. Because I'm pretty loud. So one thing that has never come up, and it happens sometimes in Zoom hearings, especially, or in court, where they're like, you're not speaking loud enough, speak up. No one's ever said that to me. So
You had okay. It was sometime this week. I don't know if it was a hearing or a review or something, but your door was wide open to the point where everyone in the office, and I felt so bad for Catherine.
I don't. I don't feel bad for anybody because I already know how this is gonna go.
I don't know if it was that you were yelling, but you were louder than normal. And actually, I messaged Catherine during the day. I'm like, what hearing is she doing right now? Because I don't see anything on the calendar. And she's like, I don't know, but it's not normal.
it's normal. It's typical. Maybe it's not normal. It's typical of me.
You guys ever seen that Dave Chappelle skit where he's talking about the Samuel L. Jackson beer?
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson, and
It's my beer.
you're right. And he's like, "Can you stop yelling?" He's like, "I'm not yelling. This is the way I talk." That's Erin.
Have you
can't stop yelling because that's how I talk. You ain't never seen my movies.
have you ever seen the have you ever seen
Airbud, amazing movie.
no
Oscar-worthy.
those what are they? The commercials. I think they're also Sam Adams commercials, and it's like your cousin from Boston.
Yeah, it's Sam Adams.
Yeah. So that is totally me. So if you ever want to watch those, they're on YouTube. That I am like that. I'm like, hey, what's up? That's absolutely my personality. I have a client who I'm also good friends with, and I went over their house and he played them for me. This is how I learned about them. He played them for me, and he goes, I tell everybody that this commercial is my lawyer. And he said it just like that to mock the Boston thing, which
Ray says in the comments, we aren't loud, Erin. We're passionate.
that's right. That's right.
That's how you would describe
I'm loud too. I'm obnoxious.
No, she's loud.
I called myself obnoxious today in my deposition.
it. Did you really?
Yeah, because my client is a little bit more soft spoken, so it was hard for the court reporter to hear. And I said, unlike some pretty obnoxious and aggressive speaking attorneys, and I realized as I said it, I was like, I'm not insulting opposing counsel. I was like speaking about myself. I said, I speak so aggressively that.
Like, we'll play Miss Morse.
Yeah. Everybody laughs at that, a little self-deprecating humor. Everyone loves it. So.
Oh, real quick, what are you watching right now? Like, what's the show that you're watching?
Wonder Woman, 1970s one.
I keep trying to get her to watch Peaky Blinders and The Viking, but that's not going well.
It's because I need to be able to watch like 1 or 2 episodes and then go 4 days without watching it.
Yeah, no, not with that one.
No, you need to binge it for the day.
Yeah, 100%.
It's cool and I like it, but you're so far ahead of it that you're not willing to have the patience to watch all the old episodes with me.
I've watched them all. I'm waiting for you. Vikings, I have not watched past where we were.
Okay. But you never, no, here's the other problem. You got to go to bed at 8 o'clock.
Right, I don't watch TV that often.
Right, so TV time with us together.
You got to come home before 7:30.
Whose fault is this?
Yours.
Actually, that wouldn't want to be mine sometimes because I do keep her in the office a little bit longer than usual.
It is what it is. Life is complicated.
Listen, if you got home
Thank you for
earlier, we
waiting.
could watch TV shows because I'm home. So,
yeah,
but
but
it's
I'm
not going to
working.
happen. And
What
I
he's saying
accept
is,
that.
Patricio, wrap it up. I want to watch TV.
Oh no.
Or if you went to work later.
When are you going to hire me?
Damn it. I'm out. I lost this one.
Well played. Mr. Morse, well played. Mr. Horton.
Mr. Morse.
Mr. Horton.
Mrs. Morris.
But no, I can't stop talking about this one because girlfriend and I are, I said that. Girlfriend and I are watching Your Honor on Showtime with Bryan Cranston.
Is it good?
Oh my God. Every episode just leaves you that you didn't see that coming, or that's a really hard twist to what's going on right now. And we're 6 episodes have been released right now, and it's really, really, I highly recommend that one. Oh, and even Ray says Viking is so good. Coming from the comments. All right. We got to do some TikToks.
Yeah.
Okay. And as always, if you'd like to schedule a consultation with attorney Erin Morse, 407-900-7451, go to our website, morse-firm.com, Google, and you'll see it right there to set up a consultation. We will talk to you guys next week. Take care.